I have free camped at hundreds of locations all around North America, but this area definitely makes it in the top 10. We migrated north for the summer to escape the Florida heat, and we've been free camping all along the way. We're currently on the Bonavista Peninsula in Newfoundland, and we've really enjoyed our time here. There are actually 2 puffin colonies within about a 20-minute drive of each other, and there's free camping all over the place. The first colony of puffins that we went to go check out is right by the Cape Bonavista Lighthouse historic site. It is a beautiful location. You can actually check out the lighthouse if you want to. There is a fee for that, but there is also free parking and free area to go check out the puffins, so you don't have to pay just to see the puffins. Within walking distance of the puffins at the lighthouse, there is Landfall Municipal Park, which is a free location for you to camp for up to 3 nights. Now the town of Bonavista maintains it, so you get a reasonably level location for you to park your RV. There are 4 pit toilets which were clean while we were there. Plus there's a nice covered picnic area if you're trying to get out of some inclement weather, say you're tent camping or something like that. I do want to point out that there is a 12'9" clearance according to the sign when you first come into the park, so if you're over that you'll need to look elsewhere. And also it is a dead-end parking lot, although it is a large parking lot, and we did see some tour buses that were probably 45 foot long in there. If you have a towable, it may be a little bit tough for you to get in and out of there, especially if the parking lot is pretty busy, so you might want to scope it out in advance. There's no electricity and there's no water and there's no dump station. It is truly just a gravel parking area for you to stay at for 3 nights within walking distance to the puffins, which is honestly pretty awesome. If you've ever been to the Florida Keys, it's like $100 for dry camping, so being able to park within walking distance of this attraction is pretty wild, and it's beautiful as well. It is free for you to stay, but if you would like to make a donation, the town of Bonavista does have some signs up, because after all, it does cost them money to maintain it. Within a short drive is the town of Bonavista, and there's everything that you would typically find in a town. There's food, you can get some showers nearby if you don't have a shower set up in your camper, and of course there's water and dump stations as well, so plenty of things nearby. And we stayed at the municipal park one night. It was nice and quiet. Once the sun went down, which the sunset was beautiful, most of the traffic kind of cleared out, and it was just the people that were overnighting, and everyone was respectful, and it was a nice and quiet evening. Now right across the street from that, essentially also within walking distance to the puffin colony, is a little small pull-off, and we've seen 3 or 4 rigs kind of tuck into there, so if you can't make it underneath the height requirement, you may check out that little spot. Within a few minute drive of the lighthouse, but before you get back into the town of Bonavista, there is the community pasture. So there's actual animals out there. We've seen some cows and some sheep as well along the pasture, but we've seen a lot of people dry camping out there as well, which of course there would be no amenities. Lots of cliffside, epic, beautiful campsites, tons of rigs along that. Now the gravel road is kind of potholy, so keep that in mind. Now we like to camp in more remote locations, away from people, kind of more isolated. That's just our preference and our style. So if you're looking to camp with lots of people, I would say check out the municipal park. There's a little bit of a kind of an RV park or a community vibe there. People are out chatting and sitting at the picnic tables and stuff. But if you're looking to have a little bit more of a quieter, isolated experience, check out the community pasture. Just make sure if you check out the community pasture that you pack out whatever you pack in. Don't leave any trash or destroy the area or anything like that. We want to let other people to be able to enjoy this in the future, and we obviously don't want them to say that no one can camp out there. But it was a beautiful location. We stayed there 2 different nights at 2 different spots. One we could easily get down to the water, and the other one that was kind of on the cliff. So different types of camping, all within a short drive. Both of them were equally beautiful though. About 20 minutes away from the first location that we checked out Puffins is the town of Elliston and the Elliston Point Conservation Area, which is the closest that you can get to puffins on land in all of North America. So that one's probably a little bit more famous. I'm sure you'll go check that one out. If not, put it on your list. In fact, the town of Elliston, along with the government of Newfoundland and Labrador, purchased about 1,200 acres of conservation area for the puffins, which is really cool. And not too far from the puffin viewing site is all the root cellars, because they're known as the root cellar capital of the world. And there is a local municipal park that you can stay at that is paid, so it's not free like the one over by the Lighthouse, but they have hookups. So if you need electricity and water and things like that, you might want to check that one out. Now, we did see a few people overnighting at the parking lot for the Elliston Puffin location, but there's no amenities there. There's no bathrooms. It is just a smaller parking lot that we've seen a couple vans overnighting in. So keep that in mind. And other than the paid municipal campground nearby, there's not a whole lot of camping in that area. I'd recommend that you go to both locations to check out the Puffins, because they do offer a little bit different experiences in my opinion, but there are a few things that you're going to want to bring with you. The first thing I'd recommend is binoculars. Now, the Puffins are pretty close to you at the Elliston Conservation Point, but after all, they are on an island, and puffins are relatively small birds. They're much smaller than seagulls. So seeing the puffins across this little gap, of the cliff just isn't really easily done without some type of binocular or a zoom lens on a camera or something like that. And then when you go over to the Lighthouse area, they're even further away. So same thing, the binoculars really come in handy. Now, if you're looking to take pictures or videos of the puffins, I do want to mention that you're probably going to need a long lens. In fact, most of our stuff was captured with a 500mm telephoto lens. That's a sturdy, expensive lens, and most people are not going to have that. So you're probably not going to be able to do it with the binoculars, and you won't be able to do it with your phone. The reason I'm saying that is that's exactly what people were telling us while we were there. We had a few people come up and ask to see the pictures that we are getting, because they tried to use their phone to zoom in, and they also tried to take pictures through the binocular, and that wasn't really working out either. Yes, you can get some pictures and some footage, and sometimes the puffins do come closer to like the viewing area that you're going to be hanging out in. And so if you hang out long enough, you might be able to get a good picture of one getting close to you. But otherwise, you'll probably want to rent a telephoto lens if you don't have one already. Or you can just go to Cabot Crafts, which is that nonprofit right near the Lighthouse, and buy some local professional pictures of the puffins. They had some nice ones in there. Newfoundland was not on the list for this year's travels, but I'm so glad that it made its way on there. After too many boat projects, we had to put off America's Great Loop until next year, and I'm kind of glad that it did, because I've never been to the Northeast, I've never been to Canada, and it has been a wonderful experience and a beautiful summer. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share it somewhere. That would be super helpful. If you haven't noticed, we don't do ads on this channel, and we also don't have ads on our website. So if you're looking for information that's ad-free and to see a web page how it should be in our opinion, do us a favor and go over there and check it out. Subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy this view as much as we have.